Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing BUG Beanstalk. We have the classic card, Beanstalk. It's an entire archetype that is enabled by cards that have higher mana value than what you're actually paying to cast them, such as Murktide with its Delve. Let's just pay 2 blue mana and put an 8/8 flyer into play. That also draws us cards off Beanstalk. That's totally fair. And we have Rakshas's Bargain, new card, very strong, helps us get selection, helps us fill up our yard, and Murderous Cut, removal that helps you cantrip as well, and of course, Force of Will, the best card that goes with of the Beanstalk. So rounding out the cast, we have some really cool one-ofs. We have Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. We have Leovold, Emissary of Trest, the Elf Lawyer, who is always advocating for all your creatures that are getting shot by Orcish Bowmasters. We have 2 Endurances. This is very important because these serve as turn 0 interaction against Reanimator and Oops All spells. And then we have 2 Tamios. So that's our creature suite. But for interaction, we have what I like to call the Confusion suite, in that we are playing exactly 1 Daze, exactly 2 Thoughtseizes, and exactly 1 Spell Pierce. So the point of this is our opponents are not going to know what our deck does. They're not going to know whether it's safe to cast a spell, whether it's safe to not cast a spell. So we're going to try to confuse them, essentially. We have the 3 Wastelands and 2 Witherbloom commands to recur them, so we can waste opponents out of the game if they kept shaky keeps that are vulnerable to Wasteland. We have pretty perfect mana. We've got the 1 basic island, yes, but other than that, it's just tons of dual lands. We've got 7 dual lands. We've got 8 fetches. Wait, we've got 8 dual lands. Yeah. I am a big stand for dual lands. I think people play way too many basics. Don't be scared. Don't play basics, right? But we do play 1 basic, and that is so we can cast Hydroblast out of the sideboard against Moonstompy. We also, for that matchup, have 4 Force of Negations. I stand very much by a 4 Force of Negation. I think it's just the best thing you can be doing against combo. We have a Shielder's Edict. This comes in, and against creature-heavy decks, this is good at dealing with Kaito, specifically a problematic card for our deck. One of the toughest matchups is blue-black tempo, and we have 2 Orcish Bowmasters to take out opposing Bowmasters. This is also very good against opposing Beanstalk decks, Jeskai Control, any deck where they're going to be kind of creature light, but you want to be just putting some pressure. 2 Force of Vigor. This comes in against artifact decks. We have a Carpet of Flowers for tempo matchups, and we've got 2 additional graveyard disruption spells in Nile Spellbomb. So we're going to play a full league as always. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against an opponent who plays a broad variety of decks. We're on the play. This is a great hand because it has Force Blue card against an unknown opponent, and it's got lands. And we can go ahead and just fetch our Surveil land turn 1, get our colors. Double Murderous Cut is kind of redundant, but it's all right. I'm not going to throw back hands like this against an unknown opponent. Basic Island. Omnitell, maybe? Show and Tell? I mean, I'm playing Basic Island. I'm looking at it right here in my hand, but Island Pass. We got plenty of land here. I'm going to assume they're not on tempo with that start, because tempo wants to be casting like a Tamio or something. Okay, so options. We can ponder. We still have Spell Pierce up. Might be able to find a fetch. I don't think this is likely going to get countered. I'm going to go for it. All right. So Witherbloom command, not going to set the world on fire. I don't really care about any of these cards. I could take one. And no, I don't have the ability to shuffle. I don't want to draw these. Let's shuffle this. Rewarded. Leovold is quite the house against their deck because they do draw cards. Assuming, again, that they're on some sort of show and tell variant. So next turn we have Leovold, which we can force protect. I do want to get a Brainstorm so I get rid of these cuts. These are not going to do jack in the matchup probably. I mean, they can take out an Atraxa, but closing the barn door after the horses have escaped, that's not really where I want to be. Leovold, they're going to force if they have a force. Going to cast an emergency cantrip here. Dazed. Well, I didn't expect Dazed, so now I'm not sure what they're on. Yeah, that resolves. I'm not going to pay for it. Yeah. I don't want to force that when you're in a situation like this and your assumptions are challenged. They're clearly not on Omnitel. I've never seen Omnitel play Daze. They may just be on a super slow blue-black tempo start. And they may just be holding up Bowmaster. That would make sense. Okay, I'm going to stick my Tamio here. I can pierce a Fatal Push. If they are on tempo, I'm absolutely going to be force pitching Force. Because tempo, like, Force is not a good card against them. I hope they go for removal now, not expecting Spell Pierce, because who would expect Spell Pierce? Okay, if they have the other land, then Fatal Push plus they can still pay for the Pierce. So, yeah, this is rough. Like, not knowing what they're doing is really hurting us here. That's fine. I'm not going to interact with that. It's tempting to, but they're looking at 10 cards over there. Damn, look at that. 10. Freaking options galore. Meanwhile, we're holding a bunch of murderous cuts that may not do a damn thing. All right, I went to pour my tea, and I came back, and my opponent's still resolving it. All right. Now, please Fatal Push my Tamiyo so I can use this Pierce and get it out of my hand. It is definitely getting bad with all these lands you're representing. They may just have another Fatal Push. So this is just 1-for-1 interaction, sadly. They're fetching. I actually will probably force this because, frankly, like... Oh, what's your screen for? Spawner? Yeah, I'm not going to force that. I was going to force if they had a second interaction spell. They could very well be on Beanstalk. Like, it didn't even occur to me that they could be on Beans, but there's green right there. So I think they're on Bug Beans. I think this is the mirror, which is an exciting way to start the league. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Yeah. And if we are on the mirror, I cannot afford to dally. I can't afford to take my time. I do want to go ahead and crack this now because if I can flip it, I mean, she is somewhat vulnerable to Witherbloom command. Another land. Not what I wanted to see. All right, we're going to pass. We have Fatal Push, or we have Murderous Cut up. We have, we will force their Beanstalk. I like that Teferi avatar. He looks very cool there. Yeah, this is the force. You have successfully gotten your 2-for-1. You've hemmed me. You cannot respond with soft permission. You can respond with your own force. Okay, now we're desperately looking for a Witherbloom command. That will solve a lot of our problems here. They are very far ahead. No, that was literally the only thing we had going on over here. I'm not going to fetch or anything. I'm just going to wait and hope to hit a brainstorm so I can get rid of some of these terrible cards. Oh my goodness. I am so ready to concede. Like, we're just so far behind. It's unfathomable that we come back from here. I will play out that land. Yeah, our deck has not been kind. I think this is like the third land in a row we've drawn. And we had the initiative. We had like everything going on. If I knew that they were on that, like, I probably would have forced. But I was like, I thought they were on show and tell, so I didn't force the days. I mean, yeah, okay. We're done here. Completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. Okay. Yeah, and Bug Beans is a powerful deck. Force of Vigor could come in. The only enchantments in their deck are the Beanstalks. I don't think it comes in. Bowmasters definitely comes in. Cards that don't matter. Fatal Push is pretty meh against their deck. In fact, I think I take them all out. We've got Bowmasters for their Bowmasters. Our Murderous Cut can hit them. Our Witherbloom Command. Witherbloom Command is one of the most powerful cards in the mirror. Shielder's Edict. Yeah, it's probably worth playing. It can take out a Tamiyo. Oh, Carpet comes in for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, we've got a lot of mana sources, but they do have Wastelands. I think it's fine. I'm not going to take the days. I'll keep the Confusion Suite in. There just aren't that many cards to bring in. It's not on my bingo map. Like, I haven't played against Beans much because it's becoming a popular deck, but it wasn't a popular deck for like a year because, you know, it just didn't hold a candle to Eldrazi. Eldrazi just completely steamrolled it. And then it was also, you know, facing Moonstompy. And Moonstompy was overplayed because it was so good against Eldrazi. So it's kind of like the monkeys they sent in to kill the badgers were like destroying all the greenery as well. The beanstalks got all destroyed too by the ravaging monkeys. So in my opinion, this mirror comes down to three things. Bowmaster's very strong. Obviously, Leovold, very strong too. And again, like, I was so booty blind on like them being show and tell because so many, like, show and tell is probably like 3x what Beans is, that it didn't occur to me that they could be on Beans and that it would be important to force there. They probably had the force too because they did force later. But, you know, having this in play would have at least been a 2-for-1. Probably would have slowed down their cantrips and stuff until they could remove it. I don't know. We forced them. We don't have a force blue card for the subsequent one. Although we could force pitching a different blue card. I think I had like a brainstorm in hand. And then we have the out of potentially when they target drawing a blue card that we can pitch to the other force. So I think going Protect the Queen on Leovold is totally legit strategy. Shutting down the draws completely would be very strong. But I said 3 cards. So the 3 cards are Bowmasters, Beanstalk, and Witherbloom Command. Witherbloom Command answers the other 2. I mean, this hand's insane if they don't have Wasteland. If they just open with a Wasteland, we're totally Stone Age. We have 20 lands in our deck. I'm going to trust that they're going to try to build up their mana. Yeah. We're going to take the chance. Mulliganing against their deck is dangerous because like every card matters. We're not completely defenseless if they waste us here, but it would really suck. And I'm not going to play like a coward. They do not have the Wasteland. I'm so glad I did this. I need to take one of these beans. I can stop the other on curve. They don't have days. They are playing the Confusion Sweep, Pokemon style. Yeah. All right. We'll take that. We'll pass. Their hand is good stuff. Lots of land. I'm just so relieved they don't have Wasteland there. Please be a land. Okay, I'm going to brainstorm and they may pierce this, and that's okay. Okay, they didn't pierce it. Interesting. So we do have the land, and that gives us the pierce. I'm going to put back these cuts. Like, man, these cuts are like freaking magnets to my hand. How do I get rid of them? All right, and now we do have pierce for their Beanstalk next turn. No! Yeah, that sucks. So we're just chilling for a couple turns. We can brainstorm to expedite. What are the odds that we find a land here under this? I think I'm going to go for it. I can still force their beans. They may pierce now. Now they know that I'm in a dire situation. Yeah, they are. And I think when they do, we let it happen. Yeah, I'm not going to force that. I'm just going to hope that, or like next turn, I do have pierce for their card. So far we've 1 for 1. They are pulling ahead on lands though. This has to be forced, unfortunately. So I don't have the pierce now that they went for it. Okay. And so we stopped their card, but we're just sitting here doing nothing. We're drawing another cut. But we're not completely dead. We're just mostly dead. They had a much better hand than we did. Like double Beanstalk plus 3 lands. That's the kind of hand you want in the mirror. They have a Ponder. No, they don't have a Ponder. Their hand is completely unknown. They find a 3rd Beanstalk. That's probably lights out. They find another Wasteland. This is our only basic land in the deck. The best draw would probably be just a land so we can Beanstalk. They did use their pierce already. They're going to take our Beanstalk now. Yeah, devastating. Devastating way to start off the league. But stick with us. We're going to have 4 more matches after this. And they are going to, like, I'm not trying to like toot my horn, but like I usually like 3-2 or 4-1. Yeah, like sadly, the first round is usually the roughest. I don't know why, but I usually lose the first round of almost every league. Yeah, they took the beans. All right. Still got 3 cards in hand over there. Okay, that's a great draw. They know about the Bowmasters, so I'm tempted to just play it out. So they can't like cantrip around it. They could absolutely just kill it. I think that, so I just want to emphasize, you should never do this, but I am going to do this because we're so far behind that we need a Hail Mary. And the Hail Mary is shutting off their interaction. We can't wait around. Like they'll time their brainstorm around it and they'll get value. If we lock some cantrips in their hand, that's a way of getting virtual card advantage. We have plenty of answers to their, oh, now we're not going to have answers because they're going to waste that. Okay. Do they have an answer to this too? I will scoop to an answer to Bowmaster at this point. I might draw another land. Shield's Edict's fine. It doesn't do anything. It's the last thing we needed probably. So let's attack. If they have their own Bowmasters, I'll just scoop. Yeah, that was rough. But we did keep a 1-lander, and we brought it upon ourselves. They have 3 Wastelands in their deck. They probably don't play 4. Yeah. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against a combo player. We've got a force hand. Got some lands. Murderous Cut's a dead card that we'll want to figure out a way to put back. Endurance might be a dead card. I am pretty confident based on their game history that they do play combo. And I'm not going to take my chances. Like, we don't have that many forces in our deck. We've only got the 4. We get a turn to set up. That's great for us. Okay. So this is a problem because this is not an angle that I had covered here. Looks like they might be on like some sort of Karnforge strategy. Monolith. So if we hit this Monolith, they can go get a key, but they may be out of steam. I'm going to go for this. This is a 2 for 2. Okay, and now this land is going to go away. If they have a soul land to follow up, that's devastating. But if they don't, we're not that bad. All right, so we're going to surveil. We will soon have enough card in our graveyard. Like, just don't have freaking Ancient Tomb. They always have Ancient Tomb. Urza's Tower. Okay, that's not the end. Another one. So this is probably the end because now they're going to have key and they're going to have a Boku de Mana. All right, let's go get our surveil trigger. We need... I mean, this fixes our hand. This pitches to force. We really need Witherbloom now. I think we have 2 Witherblooms on our entire deck. Wasteland is also fine. We could just yeet this out there. Maybe we shuffle away the cut. I do think we want to shuffle away the cut. I don't think they're going to use this to make... They would have to tap their Grim Monolith to make a construct. They may actually do that. Then they have 3 mana, 4 mana. They make a construct, and then they can untap and they can cast something in addition to making the construct. I think I'd be a fool to put this in the graveyard. But I do think we're going to lose this game. Wasteland for the win. For the survival. Okay. This isn't entirely atrocious, but it's not good. So Murderous Cut is better than Fatal Push just because it triggers Beanstalk. And we are going to have a Beanstalk soon. I don't need this trop. I don't really have a way of shuffling it away. I can draw it next turn. Endurance is super duper dead. Yeah, we're going to almost certainly have to force like a Karn or something like that this turn cycle. Unfortunately. Or a Mystic Sanctuary or Mystic Forge. Okay, they are opting not to create the construct, which is good. Because we can force. There's the key that I was trying so desperately to prevent them from having a monolith so they couldn't actually leverage that. There's the Opal. Yeah, they've got one more card. Is the card a banger? I mean, surely it's a banger because you didn't make the... They're making lots of mana here. K command. Huge K command would be scary, but I'll just stop it. Yeah, I will stop card. All right, and now they're out of ammo, but like so many live top decks with this much mana. I think it was greedy of them to not create the construct. I think that was probably a misplay. Okay, so we have 2 options. 1, we can just start cracking them with Endurance. 2, we can go with the Beanstalk. We know our top card sucks, but we will have Murderous Cut to trigger if there's a creature to target. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just Beanstalk here. All right, so it's just basically our top decks versus their top decks. We both have non-functional hands. Okay, they're just untapping. That's good for us. Okay, we get another turn. Thoughtseize doesn't do a lot here. We can assume that whatever they have in hand, what would they have? I mean, they could have K command. My instinct is to not Thoughtseize and to go ahead and get Endurance going. Because, like, what would they not play out there? I'm trying to think. Oh, it might be a Vox Opal. Yeah, I'll just pass. So this way I have Murderous Cut up. I would like to do that, but I really just want to get Endurance down. The odds of us surviving are dropping really dramatically here with every draw that we give them. 5 mana. I'm going to let this happen first, and we'll see what they get. If they get the Matrix, then we just end step Endurance and attack Karn to death. So Endurance is actually going to be pretty good here. Mycosynth Lattice. That's what I meant by Matrix. They have 5 mana. This is not enough to cast it unless their last card is a Mox Opal. This will be so sweet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Their last card was a Petal. This is the perfect counter to what they're doing. Perfect counter. You can have all that crap back. I don't think they use their graveyard for anything. Okay, I can't do anything, but I can't tap any of my lands. But wait, I can still attack. That's not activated ability. So I'm going to very carefully click through to my attack. I need to make sure I don't screw up this attack. We are going to attack Karn. Now we're going to confirm. Karn dies. That unlocks our lands. Now any other Karn is GG. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing we can do if they do find a Karn here. Thoughtseize does nothing. We have no way of getting rid of this. We basically just have to pray that they don't find another Karn. So I think the thing to do is probably just go ahead and throw Tamiyo out there. In a desperate situation, we can cut Tamiyo. Oh, we can't pitch. Force of Will doesn't work for the rest of the game either. Yes, we have no way of preventing a Karn. We just have to hope they don't draw it. There are lots of crazy, scary things they could draw here. We need a lot of turns to win. Okay. Yeah. All right. Land. Not the greatest, but it does walk us closer to being able to hardcast Force. I'm going to attack with both. I'm going to immediately crack the clue in case if I can flip her and start regrowing stuff. We've already used 2 of our forces anyway. Merc. That works. I'm going to do it. That's a great rip. Okay, so now we can turn up the heat. We have exactly 5 cards in their yard, and this will trigger Beanstalk. 1. So we're going to be hitting them for a lot more. I think this takes at least 1 turn off the clock. Another Merc. Okay, that's probably not going to do anything here. Tommy flips. Let's go ahead and plus her. We're just going to keep plussing her, I guess. I don't think she's going to do anything in this game. Okay, they're untapping. They have 1 card in hand. Hopefully it's just like a pedal or something. They should draw pedals and stuff like that. Actually, Karn can't block both of these. Okay, I think we may win. Crazy as that may seem. I think we may actually be in a position to win. This gives us hard cast force. We don't have anything in the graveyard. We could Thoughtseize and then regrow. I'm trying to think of what they might have in their hand. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. I don't care about my life. Do they have a K command? If they have a K command, they do have the mana to kill Merc and draw a lot of cards. That would make sense to hold on to that. By the way, if they have K command, that's probably also a game because they could exile our Murktide Regent. Okay, they just have a pedal. Thank goodness. Okay, but they could also just jam up the ground with so many creatures that we never get a chance to do anything. Well, plus here. Go ahead and attack them. Let's think about this. So we put a card in the yard, and then we have 4 mana. That's not quite enough. Next turn, we do have enough for Merc, number 2. But I think the game will be concluded by then. It's really just down to what their top deck is. I don't actually know what they can top deck. Like K command ends it. Yeah, wow. That was freaking touch and go. That was awesome. That was an awesome game. Shielder to get in here. Force Negations get in. Bowmaster is quite good because it pressures them. Force of Vigor. This is what we play it for. This matchup. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff coming in. Cards to come out. I think we just take out all of our fatal pushes. Daze is terrible, especially on the draw. Endurance is a bad card. Don't get me wrong, it's not good, but it was good there. I don't think that their graveyard does anything here. I think we're like strictly upgrading our Orcish Bowmasters. It's not a side grade, it's an upgrade. We're definitely leaving all this action in. Murderous Cut, I do believe they play Glaring Fleshraker in their deck. I'd be stunned if they don't. I think Spell Pierce comes out too. It's just so situational, and a lot of times they just have 10 mana, 15 mana. We need to make one more cut. I think we cut a basic island. I don't think they're going to disrupt our mana. Actually, if we're doing that, I think I'll just cut a Bayou, just to make sure I have plenty of blue sources. Let's see, how many blue sources do we have? So we have 20 lands. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 16 initial blue sources. I think we can get rid of 1. I'll feel like a dunce if, but I want to be able to cast Witherbloom on curve. Witherbloom is like a house against their deck because blow stuff up and regrows Wastelands. Yeah, that was an exciting game for sure. It's not every day that your opponent goes from thinking hey, I just won this is a good hand. This doesn't have any interaction though. The soonest we're doing anything is Witherbloom on turn 2. Well, that's probably okay. Yeah, because we could probably get rid of a key. We can brainstorm or we can ponder here. Planar Nexus. They do have a key, so we can blow that up in 2 turns. But it may not be soon enough, depending on what's in their hand. Shoulder's Edict. Let's just bend this, so that way we definitely have a land to regrow when we blow up this key. So they're probably only going to use this key once. If they have the tower, they could have Karn. There's lots of scary stuff that can happen here. This game can be very short. Okay, so this is scary, but it's not the end. This does mean they can get another key here. Petal. 3 mana available. Do they have the Monolith? Fleshraker. I think we have to Shield or Edict that. It's just too scary. Yeah, it just does too much. I'm gonna edit it. Okay, and Shield or Edict proving to be a good sideboard card. This is a great matchup for it because it can hit Karn and Glaring Fleshraker. Okay, I'm going to presume that they have land here and that they are going to be able to create constructs, which we will have to deal with. All right, we blow up this key. They just get another one, but it does restrict their mana a little bit. We could Thoughtseize them first. We could Leovold. I don't think that does anything here. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do next turn, I can potentially Uro. I'll have a lot of stuff in the graveyard. Option, yeah, I think we just blow up the key. That reduces the artifact count. We Thoughtseize them. We can Thoughtseize them first. We can also ponder to a potential force. See if we want any of those cards. Yeah, we can take whatever card we want off ponder. I think that's the play right there. We want a force. Holy guacamole, these are bad. Yeah, I don't want any of these. Yeah, we're about to get a land back anyway. Oh, force negation. Discipline mulligan paying off. Black, green, with a bloom. I will mill myself and I will destroy that key. Reducing the power of your Urza Saga and, oh, getting a wasteland back too. Yes. All right, so next turn, Planar Nexus, you are not long for this world. I will pitch Leovold and I will attempt to use Uro here. They should create the construct. They don't have Metalcraft, so they're just tapping for 1. Yeah, they do create the construct. All right, this is very good for us because this means they don't have a lot going on over there. They're going to go get a key, I think. Then I just force the Monolith. They got a Petal? I'm feeling so favored right now. This is crazy. Like, I never win this matchup. This is just like the roughest matchup because I refuse to play cards like Consign of Memory. I just don't think they're good enough for Legacy. Okay, so here's what we do. A land would actually be fine. I think we just Uro, we wasteland, and we waste the Nexus. And then they just don't have a lot going on. Green, blue, blue, Uro. Who we draw. Let's see what we draw. If we draw a land, it's so good. So Uro dies. It's going to waste this now. This just enables so much mana later. And now we chill with double force up. Against their 4-card hand and their pathetic mana base. It could become a very big mana base soon if they have another Nexus, but because Nexus counts as an Urza land, it does a lot. And they are very close to, what's it called? Metalcraft. They don't have a land, they're attacking for 2. Once we get Uro back, we just need a single green source and Uro comes back. Like a fetch would be a great draw here. I can just double Thoughtseize them and shred their hand. I want to ponder for a land. It does take us off double force. All right, this is great. So I think we waste that workshop just to further restrict their mana, and then we just double Thoughtseize them. Then we'll draw this, and we'll have Leovold that'll come out later. But I don't think they're going to be able to cast a lot of stuff. If they find another Urza Saga, that's worrying. I should probably have wasted or Thoughtseize first to see what they have. And I am kind of worried about that. Oh, wow. Lots of freaking stuff if they get mana. Holy guacamole. I don't even know what to take. They scoop. They scoop. They had so much action. They were just waiting for land. But I guess the wasteland was... they don't play a lot of lands. And you need land to kick off like the whole thing. Yeah, they were probably several turns away from doing anything. Yeah, that felt good though. 2 owed them. See you in round 3. Round 3, we're up against Goblins enthusiast Geodude Jared. Much respect to anybody who has the audacity to play Goblins in 2025. I think this is a Tamio hand. We play Tamio. Then next turn we play the Beanstalk. We don't... so the problem with this is... Yeah, like technically Tamio blocks a Lackey. I think it's good enough. I'm going to keep this. Like flipping a Tamio is just insane against Goblins. Because like they have so many little weenies that can't deal damage to you when you are plussing Tamio each turn. They have a slow start. And why do I say they're on Goblins? Look at their freaking history. They've been playing Goblins like pretty much nonstop for like 3 months. And I played against them several times. And they've always been on Goblins. Okay, so yeah, this is great. I am tempted to just go ahead and not play this because then I can protect her, but I'm going to go Beanstalk anyway. I'm worried that they just have like a lightning bolt or something and they just cleanly take out my Tamio and I get 0 value for her. I do want to get this Reveal out of my deck. I'm going to do that. And then next turn, if they do play a Lackey, I can play out the Tamio, and then if they interact, I can Brainstorm. Okay. Here's a Vial. This is normally a scary card, but we have Witherbloom in our deck. Okay, there's the Wasteland. So now we have to ask, do we want to get the Beanstalk off before they fire that away? I think we just wait. Yeah, I don't think we just throw that in there. If we find a Witherbloom command, we could Witherbloom. Thoughtseize is a good draw. Thoughtseize is not a good draw actually because they're an aggro deck. We could just play Tamio here and just kind of tempo them like their Wasteland's not doing anything for a turn cycle. All right. And now we can just fetch and brainstorm whenever we need to. But they're not really, like we're not really advancing our game plan. Lackey can come in ETB or end of turn. Sorry, wrong acronym. So now they're using a ton of mana here to try to tamp down what we're capable of. They are going to attempt to port us. Do we want to brainstorm now? I think it's fine to do so. Yeah, we don't get the clue, but like that's the least of my concern. I'd rather just have a flip Tamio here. Okay, and we got plenty more lands coming. I think we put back Thoughtseize. Like I just don't want to take damage. We'll shuffle it away. We'll shuffle away a bargain. I think we've got more than enough bargains. We can shuffle away a Ponder. We are going to be able to eventually bump bargain here. I'm going to go ahead and Beanstalk this turn and the subsequent turn. Yeah. Okay. So we'll actually redraw that. No, wait. Do we want to redraw that Ponder? I think we're looking for Witherbloom command and I want to do, no! Oh no, I just screwed up. Now they can waste me before I can cast anything. Yeah, I'm just going to get the Hedge Maze now because they're going to waste it anyway before we go to my turn. That goes in the guard. Beats the Merc. Okay, they opted not to waste since I was already tapped. They can do that in step. All right. Yeah, I screwed up because we could have Beanstalk out this turn. Sorry, my excellent friends. They shouldn't waste here, but sometimes people do. Okay, this is probably a Lackey, which can't deal anything. Okay, they just activate, no reason. That's fine. You actually should do that, assuming you have lots of clock. It just makes your opponent like puts them in dilemmas like, oh, do I interact here or not? They could have nothing. But it doesn't work if you don't frequently act, if you have to feint more frequently. So I think they'll probably just feint every turn. Bojuka Bog, they've got a lot of mana. That's coming in untapped. I'm very much looking forward to pushing something here. Mog War Marshal. This is not a card that's worth pushing, sadly. It will be if they have something else that they put in. Oh, could I have pushed? This creature dies. No, it wouldn't have mattered. They would have just gotten 2 tokens. And this is what I was telling you about Tamio. Tamio just like is really strong here. So what they want to do is they're going to try to tap down my land here, which is fine. As long as Tamio is continuing to tick up, I think we're okay. They actually paid 3 life just to be able to tap down this mana. I could just go ahead and bargain, but I want to get the Beanstalk down first. Okay, we're drawing wild. Another land. Not going to complain. I think I just go ahead and get another green source here. It could be a Bayou since we have a lot. Yeah, I got a Bayou. That's fine. We're not playing Mystic Sanctuary. Wrong mana. I guess maybe I could just start clicking that first so I don't have those awkward situations. Draw trigger. We have so much land, it's not even funny. If they're going to try to waste and Rishadan port us to death, they've got a long day ahead of them. Okay, so this is probably Explosions Engineer. Munitions. Okay. So with that trigger on the stack, I think I can go ahead and push here, and that prevents them from getting a card. So they still get a card for the Runevelt itself, but they don't get one for this Mog War Marshal that's about to die. Okay, so what do they reveal? They reveal Sharpshooter. That's a cool card. It's not good against our deck. I haven't seen that one in like 15 years. I'm not exaggerating. Like Goblin Sharpshooter used to be a mainstay of Goblins. It got kind of power crept out. It's like 3 mana for a dude, but yeah, they let that go. We're very close to drawing our entire deck, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep them from being able to attack. They have haste now, but they're only able to inflict 1 damage upon Tamio. Tamio is like such a damage sponge. My goodness, she's great. She's great in this matchup. Please don't kill my Tamio. Please just like waste me and then Rishadan port me so I can bargain at instant speed. Okay, Shirk Prospector. This could be death if they have the Muxus. And they often do. Okay, 1 mana. Sharpshooter's out. So they can use Sharpshooter to ping, sack, and they can do a lot of damage to Tamio this turn. Okay, so they should tap it. Oh, they forgot to tap it. It has haste. Why not tap it? Okay, well, anyway, I think they have enough damage on board that they could sacrifice everything and kill my Tommy. But they're going to attack first with the War Chief. That makes sense. It gets debuffed. This is an exciting matchup, by the way. I don't have any sweepers in my deck. I thought about putting Pernicious Deed in my deck, but I just don't think it's correct. So that's the first trigger. I'm just going to F6 through this. There's nothing I can do here. Tamio served valiantly. She did not deserve this death. Look at how they massacred my girl. How they butchered my girl. That's the line from Godfather. He says it about his son. No, I'm not going to give any spoilers. Sorry, I just gave a big spoiler for a 50-year-old movie. A movie that every American should watch. And probably people abroad too. Okay, they're leaving my Tamio alive, which is questionable. Why not just kill her? Okay. Let's go ahead and go black, blue, green. Draw some cards here. So we get a card off the Beanstalk, and then we get our selection. Murderous Cut's great. Definitely down to cut. These cards are great. I'll take the Pierce. I've got more than enough lands. I may actually run out of lands that I can fetch here. Yeah, okay. So you are crazy. I'm just going to plus this. Why are you letting this live? Why? Why are you doing this, Geodude Jared? Okay, so I think we want to go ahead and hit this Sharpshooter. This is annoying. This is a powerful card, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Sharpshooter because sometimes this doesn't untap normally. If we kill this, they get to untap it and they can ping it, and then they can sack and ping. I think we do hit the War Chief. This is annoying solely for Tamio, who's taking bullets every single turn cycle. Man, we do not have a lot of lands left in our deck. Yeah, it's got to be this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 times the lady. Draw trigger. We got a stacked hand with force, with another bargain. Witherbloom is precisely what we want. We'll do that next turn. We'll take out one of their creatures. Yeah, that's fine. It loses haste. Oh, that's so sweet. I didn't think about that. All right. Please don't just have like Muxus at this point, because we worked so far to get to this point. This is a really rough matchup. This is like a 30-70 matchup, in my opinion. They have no good attacks because Tamio... yeah. All right. Now, surely you want to tap down one of my lands. Okay, so we could actually Rakshasa's Bargain first. We could do that now, and then we can also... I'm going to do it. Just get some cards. Find some more force type effects. More removal. Another bargain, sure. Wasteland. I actually think Wasteland's pretty good here. And I'll take a force. I can't waste now, but I will waste later. Because I need to get this Vial dead. Okay, so we draw another card for our turn. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. They're sacking. Desperately trying to kill our Tommy. That's fine. Like, you can trim her down to size all you want, unless you have a munitions engineer. Do you have a munitions engineer? Okay, this is great. Leovold's awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of their Vial. And I will kill this irritating creature. And this might signal a concession. This is a 1/1. Destroy the Vial. Boom. Boom. Okay. And yeah, you can untap it because it died. That's interesting that it triggers itself. Okay. So we're just, yeah, they were so far behind at that point. I have to pat myself on the back here. I think I navigated this pretty well. And like my time differential is not that bad. So I think, okay, game 2 is going to be much worse. They're going to have blasts. Bowmaster, get in the deck. Shielders Edict, not worth it. Not on rate. Hydroblast, though, is good. Okay, so cards that are bad here. I think Leovold's not the worst because like, if they're pinging our creatures or doing stuff, they're not drawing cards, though, is the thing. They don't get value through drawing. They get value through revealing. Daze comes out for sure. Daze sucks against them. Thoughtseize is bad against aggro decks. Any other cards that are not going to be good? I don't like to spend a ton of mana on a Rakshasa Bargain, but it's hard to deny it was insane there. Endurance is a stout body. Oh, Spell Pierce comes out for sure. Okay, and that's our sideboard. We take out that Confusion Suite completely, and we just bring in more removal. It's hard to overstate how good Witherbloom Command is in this matchup. I mean, it's always got like 2 targets probably, or is recurring a land. And speak of the devil, as they say in Chinese, Shuo Cao 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 Jiu Dao, which means if you speak of Cao Cao, General Cao Cao, he will appear. That's like the Chinese version of Speak of the Devil. And it's also used as a tongue twister for kids. Shuo Cao 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 Jiu Dao. You may be wondering why I speak Japanese and Chinese. I just spent a lot of time in Asia. It's like a pretty big interest of mine. Okay, so this is a problematic card. We don't have a clean answer to it, turn 1. So we could just die. Or we could just draw the best possible. Thank you, deck. I'm going to wait until they attack. I don't think there's anything they can do to save him. He's such a cute little innocent guy, but for years, he was the boogeyman. Like, Goblins was like the top deck in Legacy for several years. I think we actually get the... I think we get the Bayou, because then that means like any land other than Wasteland, and we can cast Witherbloom. Yeah, I'm going to get the Bayou. And then we do have all 3 colors. That was so lucky. As Andrea Miguchi says, never feel bad for your opponents. But, like, yeah, that's good. I'm going to waste our Wasteland. Yeah, I think it's better to waste our Wasteland than it is to Beanstalk here, because I just don't want to lose a land. Cut is a turn away. Had we gotten Underground Sea, we would have Brainstorm here, but I still think it's fine. Like, we have access to Beanstalk here. Scary cards they could have, the Skirk Prospector. I can't remember. Oh no, they have another one. Well, yeah, they're choosing, they are choosing damage over disrupting my mana. But I think that's going to work for them. Oh my goodness, what can we draw here? Okay, well that's good. That's a good start. Okay, so I think we just Witherbloom and hit this and return a land. I'll go to Trop this time. Yeah, because I want to keep forward momentum and continue to make land drops every turn. That's very important with this deck. So, you know, as I said, like, this card is just like the best thing you can be doing against them. We're filling up our yard, which turns on Cut, which we can use after we get the Beanstalk out. I will get back a fetch. I'm not going to get greedy and waste. Uro went into the yard. Holy guacamole. How lucky is that? Our one of Uro is potentially going to come back. By the way, I think General Tao's chicken, which is not a real Chinese dish, but it was made up by Chinese Americans when they came over for the gold rush. They needed like a menu. And I think the Cao Cao in that tongue twister that I said is General Tao. They have a lot of mana. Please use that mana instead of wasting us. Oh no! Such a beating. Such a beating. Okay, we can recover from this. It's just going to take a while. That's a lot of damage. They're down to 3 cards. So we have an option. That is to potentially hit this with the Murderous Cut just to potentially buy us some time. It sucks doing that because we have Murderous... they've used 3 of their Wastelands. The odds of them having a 4th one are extremely low. And them being able to like turbo out some scary creature from 1 mana is much higher. So I think I am going to go ahead and cut here. And we do have a land for next turn. So yeah, like I think this is the play. Just reduce the risk. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. I don't think we're going to be wasting them, but it could come up. I'll just take the Bowmasters out. Yeah. Yeah. And I like to leave as many other cards as I can. We could go to time. I have 12 minutes on my clock. I just have to win one more time. They are... Yeah, I mean, they don't have any more mana. That was such a good play. No, they do have more mana. Oh, no, and it's an annoying card, too. Well, I will Brainstorm when they do this. I'm not going to waste this mana. My mana is precious. I know that it's suboptimal Brainstorm. Okay, we found a Hydroblast. It's not the worst. So we're just going to chill and wait for a few turns. These Rakshasa bargains are not particularly good. Okay. I hope I don't have to Hydroblast one of these, but yeah, I might have to. Because let's see, we're drawing like 3 cards in a row, and they are just... See, we'll take like 6 damage before we get out of this hole. Please give me something good. A Pyro. Okay, yeah, that is a Pyro or a Hydro if I've ever seen one. Yeah, that would definitely be death. And we do get a turn where we can do stuff, but unfortunately, our colors don't match up because I had to get the black to cut. And I don't regret cutting, by the way. It was the right thing to do with the information we had at the time. So we're just going to pass. But our life is ticking down. They do have Richard on port this turn, even if they don't have anything to cast. They have 3 cards in the hand. It's hard to imagine they wouldn't have something to cast here. What? They didn't attack? That was a misplay. I'll take it. Yep, that is tapped. All right, Regent. It's too late. I think we're dead if they click and actually attack. We just got lucky. Like, we got an extra turn there. Prospector. Okay, so we're probably dead to Muxus or something sick like that. I did take out their original Prospector for this reason. They could have attacked first. Yeah, they should have attacked first. I think they're playing loose. Sorry, Jared, if you're watching. Like, I definitely dig what you're doing over there, but like, they're just tiny little optimizations you could be making, like attacking with the goblins before you start sacking them. It may not matter if they have like something big. Okay, they all get haste, so it doesn't matter. Okay, are we dead? We're taking 5. We put a giant Merc out. That absorbs one of these attackers. Wasteland. We waste their port so they can't stop us. But we're still going to bleed out pretty quickly. They attack. We block. We take 3. We go to 1. We need Witherbloom to survive. We need to draw a land, specifically a trop. We won't be able to do it. I think we're just dead. I'm going to go ahead and play it out, though. Maybe they make a mistake. Like, they get too afraid of attacking in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to make it a full 8-8. It is death in 2 swings, but like, we're never going to get those swings, unfortunately. So the question is, do we want to waste now just to restrict their mana? Because we are almost certainly going to waste that. Because if they tap that down, we can't do anything. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and waste it. I don't want them to tap any of my mana. We could draw another Murktide, but that wouldn't be enough because they have so many creatures. We just have to see if they make a mistake here. They found a land. Yeah, that's very much game. This is haste. Okay, that was a cool game, though. All right. Yeah, 3 wastelands. It's quite the crimp in our plans. I'm not changing anything. Let's do it. Because they had the Shirk Prospector, Bowmaster wasn't an out because they could just, like, we ping one of their creatures and they just double. Yeah. But that was another out that I didn't think of. Okay, this is not a keep. I'm sorry, you can't keep this. Not against a deck that has as much mana disruption as their deck does. This is a pretty good hand. I'm going to put back the Bargain. It's a late game card. They may even have Pyroblast. And yeah. Okay, so I think we just play this out and we wait. I'm not going to fetch the Surveil land because I probably need black here. I'm going to hope that I get a decent Bowmaster target. If we force this, we don't have to deal with it. We could live in a world where we find Witherbloom Command and we force something more consequential later. They kept based on this. I'm going to force and hope that they just kept a landline hand or that our Wasteland can do some work. That's a great draw. So now we have Borkish Bowmaster and we're going to hope to hit like a Lackey. I'll even hit a Shirk Prospector if they play it out. Just even though I know the trigger, I won't get the army. I just want to be mana efficient because I've got Uro coming. Uro will draw us deeper into our deck, but we actually can't, like, Wasteland won't help us bring Uro back. Mog War Marshal, that's fine. I could just ping one of the creatures that comes in. I want to be mana efficient. I'm going to do that. Definitely a temptation to just grab a Bayou here, but I think that's a mistake because we probably will need blue later. So they'll get another Goblin here, but we will take out one of them. That's a good draw. Uro, draw trigger. Force would be fine. I'd be fine with a force. I'd really like to see a land, though. That's a great card. I'm not going to complain about that. I am a little worried that I'm not going to attack into this. I'm actually not going to attack at all. I'm just going to hang back and use these as blockers. Okay, they don't pay. Scariest thing they could do would be Wasteland. Waste our trop, and we're like seriously in trouble. Murktide could be an answer, but again, they probably have Pyroblast. I feel much more comfortable using my limited graveyard resources to bring back Uro. War Chief is fine. That is going to get pushed. Oh, interesting. They didn't want to attack. That is good. Okay. So here, I think I waste this, and then I just push. Yeah, and that denies them the mana, and it fills our yard up a little bit. And you do want to go ahead and do this during their turn because this discounts their creatures. And I don't see any merit in attacking. I'm not going to attack, even though I know that like this isn't going to do anything as a game piece. The fact that it hangs back and like Judo Jared has shown that he's a little bit timid about like he's not like a balls to the wall aggro. He's trying to play like to a long game too, play a little more control-y. So that's a wastable land. I might waste that. He uses a ton of mana. Let's put it this way. His deck is extremely mana intensive, more so than mine. So Wasteland is not necessarily a bad card here. Another War Marshal. That's not exceptional card at this point. It's material. If he attacks, I will block. Okay, let's see what we draw. I really want to bring this Uro back, but... Okay, so I do think it's fine to brainstorm. This puts another card in the yard for Murktide. I don't want a Murktide yet because I do suspect they have Pyro, and maybe this will be Pyroed. We'll see. I'm going to do it with... because I might draw Beanstalk. Yeah, let's live in a world where we draw Beanstalk. Okay, this is great. No complaints. I want this Ponder. I could actually Ponder to put a card in the yard, and then I could draw and play the land. I think it's fine. And I do think that this is... Force is not what we want. Okay, so I'll play this out. I'm actually not going to crack it because next turn I am going to take them off a land. Next turn, I have another land, and I can bring back Uro. And once Uro's back, I think we win. I can't imagine them outvaluing Uro, especially without like some sort of engine. If they draw Mog War Marshal, or Skirk Prospector, that would unlock a lot of what they can do here. That's a powerful card. I think we just take the 4 here. We could double block here just to save the life and remove an item. I think that's actually defensible here. Because we're going to have Uro soon. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Boom. And I'll block the same one a second time. I know that like we could eventually get rid of this. They only have one land. I think it's unlikely that the top card they have is a creature that they can use. And this is until the end of... Yeah, I think we do this to save life. So they may flip something good here. Broadside Bombardiers. That sucks for us. Yeah, but we're going to have Uro. Let's just stay calm. All right, so let's go get Uro. I probably should have actually gotten a Bayou here, or instead of the Underground Sea, just to maximize the likelihood that like I can return, because they may waste me and then I can't bring Uro back again. I really want to draw, at this point, a 1, 2, 3... Yeah, we'll do it like that. So we're leaving all the instances and sorceries in our yard. Okay, they have the blast. This is pretty bad for us. But it would have been really bad for us if they had the blast last turn. So we can bring Uro back next turn, assuming they don't have Wasteland. And I do think it's better to bring Uro back than to play the Regent out. Because at least we get a card, even if they have the blast. If they blast it on the stack, though, it's not good for us. There's a broadside. We're super in danger here. They can throw one of these creatures, get another trigger, do some damage to us. Yeah, 9 life. Damn, we're so dead so quickly. It's devastating. Okay, we have exactly enough cards to bring back Uro. Green, green, blue, blue. This is not going to keep us alive, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is, by the way, this is what a badge matchup looks like. 5. It's so hard to see in the UI what's selected and what isn't. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't trust that I can fetch. I'm worried that like fetching a single card is going to, I will play this out. I can get a surveil trigger here, but I'm worried that I'm going to die is the thing. So I think I'm just going to fetch in the end step. Let's see. We could get a Merc out. It'd be a small Merc next turn. I can play that land out next turn. Yeah. I've got under 5 minutes on my clock. I don't think it matters. I think we're going to be dead next turn cycle. Especially if they find another broadside, we're super duper dead. They can't throw anything currently that's big enough to hit Murktide, though. Or, I'm sorry, to hit Uro. They could throw and kill before we get to attack. So we can't block this. I think we block after damage. They throw Runevelt, maybe? They get another trigger. They kill our Uro. I think it's too risky not to block here. If we attack... All right. Leave a comment with a timestamp. I think we do want to block here, though. And maybe we find like a Witherbloom command or something and we can bring him back. We do have the mana. Yeah, I'm almost certain, but this is saving us from so much damage. Mog War Marshal, that is a lot of material. I no longer think we can win the game. Broadside has to throw this exactly at this, which is good because it reduces the strength. Unless they have a 3-drop. What is this? Okay, that is big enough. We're so dead. It's not even funny. I'll let them play it out just so you can see this deck in action. You may not have seen Goblins in the Wild. But like, this is a game where I can't pinpoint any specific mistake I made along the way. I think it's just so unfavorable that even when we get like really good cards and we're playing really well, we're still structurally so unfavored that, yeah, I mean, all right. They made a huge mistake in giving us a turn here. I made a mistake in not fetching there, but I don't think it's actually like that big of a mistake. Let's see what we get here. I am going to have to attack. Like I have to draw a card here. Gain some life. Okay, we're dead. There's nothing we can do. There's no combination of cards. We fetch. We put a 3/3 marker in. Yeah, I guess I could put this in. This doesn't cost us life. Will that be enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that will be enough. So we can put this in. Do they block? They have no reason to block this. Okay, that was unnecessary in my humble opinion. They get a trigger. Okay, they have another Rune Belt, so their creatures are going to hit for even more. I'm going to go ahead and constrict their mana. I do have to fetch to be able to cast this this mark. I could play another land out. I may actually play that land out. I'll get the Bayou here. Blue. Yeah, they just play the Rune Belt and their creatures are so big that there's no way in heck that we survive. But like, I'm going to give them the chance to make a mistake. We have to block Lackey. That's a force block. So they can throw Lackey after they block. What is this? Okay, yeah, we're dead. We're not going to survive that. Okay, cool. Yeah, again, this is like, I said it's a 30-70 matchup. It might be like even lower than that. Okay, so hopefully we're done with the bad matchups so we can get to the good matchups. I think we actually, there are favorable matchups for Beanstalk, but they're like barely favorable. The main thing is Beanstalk is not completely cold to any one deck. And as I've said many times, like my entire playstyle is to optimize around non-games. I want to have fun. Darth Dog, that's a cool name. Darth Dog plays so many different archetypes. Cradle Control doesn't play Wasteland. Like the one thing I notice in these different archetypes they play, other than lands, of course, that would suck if they were on lands. We're probably going to lose if they're on lands. Depths does play Wasteland, yeah. Is this hand a keep? I don't think it is. Even in the blind, like they could be on combo, yes. But if they're not on combo, if they're on a fair, if they're on depths, we do have double Fatal Push to answer their stuff. But there's no way to dig for land. I'm going to mulligan this. I just can't risk a non-game. This is so much better. This is a force hand, but we have lots of stuff to do with it. So I think I put the Merc back, and then we have Leovold to pitch, and we're just not doing anything in the first few turns, but that's okay. Once Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, so they're on Cradle Control, or most likely Cradle Control. And you want to see something crazy? Oh, it's a Noble Hierarch. If they had led with the Recruiter, I would have forced that, or Reclaimer. But I can actually Witherbloom this in a few turns. I think we go ahead and we Tomio here, and we risk a Wasteland. That way we're on board. I don't think Leovold does a lot against their deck. They're not going to be drawing cards. Leovold is, good because he pitches to force early game. Same thing with Murktide. I don't think Murktide would be playable if it was like red-red. Maybe it would be playable in like aggro red decks, or burn decks. Actually, that would probably be a huge R&D mistake to make a Murktide in red-red. This sucks, but I'm going to let it happen. So they probably take Leovold. They take Witherbloom. That's good for us. They took Force. I think that was a misplay. Because I can Witherbloom this. They have double Reclaimer hand. Okay, that's really good. And a Zenith for man, they just had a freaking nut draw. Well, I am going to Witherbloom here. I could actually attack and Brainstorm instead of Witherblooming and then just nullify their attacks. But they will be able to go get depths Or, yeah, who knows? Actually, they may not be playing Dark Depths. Okay, yeah, so I do think Brainstorm's fine here. We'll see what we get. More Witherbloom. We have a Murderous Cut that we're not ready to cast yet, but it will be good later. As I said earlier, I think Leovold's just totally terrible in this matchup. I think we put him back. We could put like one of these lands. They're unlikely to disrupt our mana because Cradle Control, which seems to be what they're playing, does not play Wasteland. Witherbloom, we had targets, back-to-back targets. I think we keep the Witherbloom, and then we can Witherbloom 2 turns in a row, fill up our yard, and then we can have a giant Merc. She flips. We plus her. Let's play the Misty. This is going to go get a Surveil land. We'll pass. Yeah, everything's coming out great with like the way our deck is doing it, but they had just such a fast start. If they manage to natural order, which is probably why they took the force, I imagine they natural order into Atraxa and the game's over, even though we have like an insane hand. We can't overpower the value that is Atraxa. Like, we could get a giant Merc tied up. Next turn, if we get a chance, we could regrow a force, but I doubt we get the chance. Also, they can potentially put some lands in their graveyard and then they can attack down our Tamio. But she is doing some work right now. All right, Sylvan Safekeeper. This card's annoying. White, also quite annoying. I think our best option at this point. Let's see. Do they have the mana? Search for a land. Yeah, we're not going to ever be able to overwhelm like the sheer card advantage they have now. They can attack. I think what I need to do, they're attacking with both. Well, that's a mistake unless they're planning to sacrifice some lands because these both get nulled. Yeah, they should have just attacked with one. Then they would have gotten the Exalted trigger. Okay, so let's go get our thing. What I'm going to do, again, I'm going to stick with the plan. I'm going to attempt to kill the Sylvan Safekeeper here before the white can sack her to go get a land. They have so much mana. We just have to hope that they whiff. I mean, this land is fine. I can actually play it and have Murderous Cut up. If Safekeeper dies, then Murderous Cut is up, but it'll just be countered. Okay, let's start with a Witherbloom here. I could alternately, yeah, next turn maybe I go for the Merc. So I'm going to mill and I'm going to try to kill their Sylvan Safekeeper. Next turn I can do the same. Okay, they sacrifice, so it muted that. Grab our land. I probably should have just been the land. We have a huge Merc on our hands. I don't think Tommy is going to die this turn. They could throw everything at her. They would have to sacrifice a land. They can sacrifice a creature, go get a land. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to chill. Hierarch. This is fine. This does buff, like if they attack with just a white, they can do a lot of damage to Tamio now. They could sacrifice lands here to power. Like if they really want to get rid of her. But I'm fine with playing it slow. I hope they sacrifice lands. I think that'd be awesome. Okay, they're opting to attack there as well. So they both get debuffed. Again, making a mistake because they would have had, Exalted triggers. All right, please just sacrifice some of your lands. Okay, they're doing this to buff. That's fine. It does buff their white. Hydra. It's a powerful creature. Okay. I think we wait on the Merc. Next turn we can Merc and we can cut. All right, let's see what we draw here. All right, so what I'm going to do here. So we play this out. Math time. We have 6 cards in our graveyard. I can fetch an Underground Sea. I'm going to go ahead and just do this because it's too much cognitive overhead for me to count everything out. I should count everything out though. But I'm pretty confident that I will have enough to, let's grab a bunch of blue sources. And then this, I mean, it's like pretty minor, like using the shuffle effect now as opposed to, so now we know that we have 8 cards in our graveyard. We have 4 mana. So we Merc first and then, they have like basically no removal in their deck. They can exile our card temporarily. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Rakshas's Bargain's pretty good. I might regrow that. Yeah, and then we have exactly enough to cast Murderous Cut, but it's not going to matter. They're going to phase our dude out. So we have an 8/8, but he can go a lot bigger. I want them to try to phase him out during combat. I could Witherbloom here, refill the graveyard. I think it's better to keep cut up. We could cut now and force the... If we force now, or if we cut now, we kind of deal with... We get an extra counter on him. They have to sack a land to keep their creature alive. They may just say, oh, I can just go face and win, but I think they're actually wrong if they do that. I'm going to cut now. We'll just target the safekeeper because like every land they have in play is like problematic for us. Yeah. So we get an extra counter. Next turn we have Witherbloom command. We have Clue Crack. Do they saber? They don't. Okay, that's good. That means that they think that they can go face and kill us. But actually, I don't think that's true. They're sacking a creature. What are they going to go get? To me, that's kind of crazy that they... First of all, they're sacking a Reclaimer. Reclaimer's quite good. Just to get a Dryad Arbor? Okay. That's counterintuitive. I guess they're just trying to max the creatures they have in their graveyard. If they have a show or a natural order, it doesn't even matter. Green Sun. Yeah, Giant Green Sun does it too. They just got a lucky draw. Or they could be putting this in the lair of the Hydra, which I will allow to attack me. Yeah, oh, okay, this is not that bad. Okay, are we dead? They can just attack for 10. Are they attacking Tamio or are they attacking me? Yeah, Tamio's dead. Okay, and they can start phasing stuff out, but they don't actually have enough. Oh, wait, they can search with this. Yeah, they can phase this out before I can attack. Oh, we may be dead here. Rakshasa bargain. Let's think about what we could get here. Wasteland would be good because we could hit that. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. Black. Wait. We want, yeah. So we're going to go green, black, blue. This way we have the ability to Witherbloom command if we want. Just to drain some life and gain some life. Okay, so Wasteland is great. And I'll take the Beanstalk and hope to survive long enough to use it. Yeah, because we want to get rid of that lair for sure. They don't have the mana to do anything about it. It seems crazy doing that instead of going after the guy's Cradle, but I do think it's correct because we at least have a blocker here. So we can potentially survive for a turn cycle. They attack into us. One of their creatures is necessarily going to die unless they want to use one of their creatures. Like, yeah, they're going to phase it out, but I don't think we're dead. Let's see, they're hitting for 9, probably like 10, maybe 11. We're just hoping to fade something bad off the top of the deck. Okay, 12. They can fetch here. Huh. Had I attacked, actually, it was a mistake. I think I should have attacked there because I had a 9/9. They probably would have phased it out. So we can get rid of one of these creatures. We can regrow a Wasteland. We can get rid of the Cradle, crimp their mana. They can react to us trying to get rid of one of their lands. This thing's getting huge. They're just going to phase it out. They're like, I can't get big enough, so I'm going to phase it. And they can do this again next turn, by the way. They have 2 of these things. This is kind of like how they tempo you out in the late game. Okay. They attacked, and now they're doing this again. They're just going to get more power behind this attack. Let's see. If I did find a Merc, I could Witherbloom command for 2, and then I could... No, it wouldn't be enough because they could just phase. No, wait, they're tapped. They can't phase anything out, so I can get an attack in. Okay, so I'm at 8. Okay, Fatal Push on this is pretty damn good. Let's do that while they can't do anything. I'm going to go black, green, Witherbloom, mill 3, and I'm going to kill their dude. I don't think they have a lethal attack here. We'll get back a Wasteland. We'll take out their... Do we want to take out the thing or do we want to go for the Beanstalk? I think we take out the thing, the Cradle. It does shut them off from doing like crazy lines. No, do we even go after that? I think we probably do. I probably should have Beanstalked there. Now I'll just swing twice. They have to hang back and they have to phase it out to defend themselves now. Okay, that Fatal Push was such a good draw, by the way. I think in retrospect, I should have probably invested in the Beanstalk. Natural Order still kills us. But otherwise, if they have to hang back... Wow, they scooped! I did not expect to win that game. This is another, like the 4th matchup in a row that is structurally unfavored for us. Bowmaster comes in. Shielders Edict definitely comes... Oh, Shielders Edict. Let's see, is it good? I don't think it's good. I mean, like really, we just want as much removal as possible. Cards that come out, Spell Pierce Daze. You know, Thoughtseize is pretty bad against their deck. We could bring something in the place of Thoughtseize. We could bring in a non-spell bomb just to be able to hit their yard, but that seems super weak. If we keep a single Thoughtseize in, it feels bad against an aggro deck to be casting Thoughtseize. I think non-spell bomb's better. Yeah, because we can like shrink their army pretty dramatically in combat if we play this out. Pokemoke advocates for bringing that card in. This hand is fine. This has a turn 2 Beanstalk with Force. Murktides are pretty good against them. Endurance is good against them. We just don't have any aggression that we can lay on. Okay, that's fine. What cards would we force? We'd force Reclaimer. We'd force the Sylvan Safekeeper. Well, we can't. Yeah, we'd force that. We can't force the Allosaurus Shepherd. I'm not sure if they play Allosaurus Shepherd. Thankfully, they don't. Allosaurus Shepherd is an absolute abomination of a Magic the Gathering card. They're going to take our Beanstalk. I think that's okay. They should take our Beanstalk. If they don't take it. But whatever they take is going to be fuel for the Merc. That is a crazy play. You are crazy. I don't know what you have in your hand, but it better be something spectacular. Now, boys, your history report. It better be something spectacular. I think that's the line that the principal said, or the teacher says. Okay, that's what we want. Now we're going to go with the Beanstalk. And we're going to hope that they don't natural order our face off. That would be a reason to take the Force. But I'm not going to live in fear. They have 4 of those in their deck. Force? No. Okay, we're probably dead if they natural order. They do natural order for Atraxa usually. Wait, do they not play natural order? This isn't the same deck, is it? No, because they're playing black. They're on Cradle Control. So they do have natural order. They have the creature to sacrifice and everything. If they don't have natural order, we're in a great position. But they do have natural order. So we're dead. And I don't regret what I did because they had to have natural order, but you could definitely argue like I should have just brainstormed there. We'll see some more of their deck. I fought so hard to win that first game, and now I just like kind of threw this one away by like not considering. I mean, yeah, I could have wasted and brainstormed. So there was definitely like it's obviously when they took the Force and I said it's probably natural order. I should have gone with my gut there and like trusted it. Obviously, results oriented thinking. Yeah, I feel dumb. So we do have a few cards that can clear this. I'm not going to scoop. Our Merc can potentially jump up there and take one for the team here. They did use a lot of resources to get here. We'll see how many cards they get off of this. 3 cards. Okay, so they got Sylvan Safekeeper, which is the scary one. Lair of the Hydra. Okay, so let's go ahead and reveal those. All right. That's not a bad... Like, they usually only get like 3. Maybe 4. They don't play a lot of types like other Atraxa decks do. Shieldred's Edict is the best draw, for sure. We can still recover if we get like a Shieldred's Edict. We could even brainstorm into Shieldred's Edict. I'm going to brainstorm off the green land to maximize likelihood of finding it. I did put it in this deck. Murder's Cut also clears this. And then we just don't have to worry about natural order. Their natural orders are like basically dead for the rest of the game. We'll never endurance them. We'll try not to anyway. Set me free, Brainstorm. You're our only hope. Okay, so this Ponder could still find it. I'm going to put these Wastelands back. I know it sucks, but... Oh, wait, no. I'm going to put one of the regions back. And I'll put a Wasteland back. Now we're going to shuffle. We're going to take a second look. And now Murder's Cut no longer cuts it. We need... Or no, Shieldred's Edict no longer cuts it. We need to actually find the Brainstorm. I'm sorry, the cut. And after this turn, it becomes extremely difficult to remove her because they're going to have Sylvan Safekeeper. We probably just scoop at that point. Any order shuffle? Those great cards going bye-bye. Okay, that's not good enough. Unfortunately, I think we can force the Sylvan Safekeeper and we can take another look next turn. I think that's the play. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Yeah, but I'm not going to brainstorm yet because I want to maximize looks and I want to be able to immediately do something with the information I have. I'll force pitch Merc probably here. Sylvan Safekeeper. I'm going to force that. I know that there's a lot of other nasty stuff that they can play here, but this is actually the nastiest thing because this is what protects Atraxa. Okay, now they're going to get X equals 2. They're probably going to get the Sithcat Cub. Yeah. That's a pretty aggressive card too. Our life falls lower. All right, we've got a few more looks. Always play to your outs. We're going to do it. We're going to play to our out. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a reason to keep the green up. I mean, I could cast an Endurance here. I don't think that does enough for us. It keeps us alive for a turn. Yeah, I'll keep that as a backup plan. We only need 1 black mana here. Okay, so hear me out. This is lame, and this sounds incredibly weak, but what I think we do here is we play the Endurance, we chump. If they don't pump up Sith Cat for some reason, they don't have a land, which, yeah, they may not have a land. Wait, they haven't played their lair yet, so they do have a land. So Sith Cat is going to be a 4/4. No, it's not. It'll be a 3/3, so I might be able to block it. So I want to put this back. I don't think Wasteland is going to be a part of this game, unfortunately. Rakshas's Bargain is what we need to cast next turn, and we look for the Murder's Cut. We could cast it this turn and draw, but it's not going to get us where we need to go, and I think Endurance is better. Land for turn. We could also Brainstorm. We could Wither. No, we can't Witherbloom and Brainstorm. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to just plan to use the Endurance plan. I'm seriously tempted to put the cards back in their deck, but then that gives them Sylvan Safekeeper. They did already use one of their green. They used the Green Sun from hand. So their only known card is Lair. If they give me a chance to kill Sith Cat, I will. Okay, that triggers. What could this get? We'll see. Another Sith Cat Cub. Okay, so we're going to kill 1 in combat, and we'll be super low in life. Green, colorless, Endurance. I think I am going to Endurance them just because it makes their other creatures weaker. We're at 3 life. We did get a favorable trade there. All right. Rakshasas will see 4 cards. Blue, let's go. This is what you call desperation magic right here. I'm glad I can show you this. Because like a lot of times, if Beanstalk can claw its way out of this, it's just such an endorsement of the deck. Yeah, unfortunately, those fatal pushes aren't going to do it. I mean, okay, so let's go ahead and keep it. So we fatal push. We have the Wasteland for their lair. Let's take this. I do think we take the Murktide just because it's a big, scary object. I mean, we could technically put that in front. Yeah, we could actually survive here. Yeah, we could Murk tangos with that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we actually just do that. We do get another trigger. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Blue. You're going to have tons of life, but I am going to still be alive. 1, 2. Beanstalk trigger. There's the cut. Holy cow. Okay, so hear me out. We actually chump this, and then we cut it next turn, and then we keep our Merc, and we can, potentially win with that. All right, wow. Sith Cat triggers. This is an amazing game. This is such a fun game, man. They have something else. Another natural order. Okay, that's wild. Can't interact. Another Sith Cat? White? They shouldn't attack. What? They don't attack? They don't attack at all? Oh. We're going to kill so many of their creatures here. All right. Step 1. We cut. Cut buffs. Merc. We swing for a lot. We push the big cat. No, we have to push white. Let's just see what we draw off the cut. We have the waste for they're down to 1 card. Their 1 card is Lair, I believe. So we have known information. Okay, let's think about this. We could brainstorm here. Is there a way? No, there's no way we can lethal them because they have 29 life. Okay, I'm gonna just do the most obvious thing right here. 1, 2, 3. I will leave that in the yard here. So we draw a card. This draws us deeper. Okay, ponder's fine. Now we can push this, and I think that's correct. Now we can ponder. I actually want to brainstorm here because I don't need to cast. Okay, I can put this back. I can put this fetch back. We're going to play this. We probably want to go ahead and just... Man, if I had one more thing I could do here... I mean, I might be able to find a fatal push. If I find a fatal push, then I can, attack in. Let's fetch down to 2. Let's get our trop here. Let's ponder. Fatal push or a murderous cut. Or Bowmasters. Bowmaster's pretty good. Force is fine. I don't actually want the force because we can't cast it this turn. I'll take the Bowmaster. That is a good insurance policy against their flying creatures. And then I think we just have to pass with Bowmaster up. It's safer to do that than it is to Hierarch is Bowmasterable. That triggers them both. That's fine. They're still not going to find good attacks here. I can just double block this. I'm just going to go ahead and ping it now so they don't get the bonus. I have the Wasteland for the Hydra. If they attack, they're going to lose everything. All right. We're turning the corner. Let's go ahead and Beanstalk first. Green, black, beans, draw trigger, force. Get Witherbloom here. Gain some life. I'm going to waste them first. This Hydra, like they may concede and we may not have to play a whole lot. What do we want to do? I think it's worth brainstorming here because if we find like a, we can mill away this. I don't want this Wasteland. I don't really want this force. I can just mill them away. Green, black. I'm going to gain some life. Cast. Target player mills, and I'll. Okay, and I'm just going to assume there's not going to be a game 3, and then we're going to win. Presumptuous, but all right. And now we can attack in. I'm just going to wait. I can hit their yard this turn. I have force up. I don't really have anything that I'm fearing here because they don't play Allosaurus Shepherd. We just need to wait until we find another Merc, and then we can have Giant Merc. They're legend rolling their. Yeah, that's fine. These are still not big enough to tango. We can just waste that and take them off big mana. I'm going to go ahead and just hit just to draw a card. And I will waste the Guy's Cradle. I've got lots of lines. I just need to find a Delve spell, and then I can make my Merc really big. They'll never be able to catch up with it. Okay, Rakshasa bargain should do it. Let's go ahead and bargain. Double draw trigger. Okay, Murderous Cut is very good here. I think we take the second Endurance. We can cast both of these this turn. Actually, we can't because I'm going to waste their thing first. Okay, and now I'm going to cut black. Cut the big one. We'll do 1, 3, 4. I actually should have cut the lands. For some reason, I got confused. No, I'm making Merc type bigger. I was correct. We get a double draw trigger. Beanstalk. We have lots of cards that we're going to be discarding here. The cup dies. Hitting them, I just need to hit them like 3 times. Be super conservative. I can play Automio just as another game piece. I don't want to discard. We are pretty safe here. I'm trying to imagine what they would draw. Yep. Holy guacamole. That was a very unfavorable matchup, and I think it just came down to tenacity. Like, there were several points, like working through an Atraxa. Oh my goodness, that was a hell of a game. That was a hell of a game. Tell your friends. Be Excellent had this great round 4, and you should watch it versus Darth Dog. Very skilled. Cradle Control opponent who, just couldn't come up with the lethal before I turned the corner. That was amazing. All right, final round. We're up against a likely tempo fair gamer. They don't generally play combo. They said that they played me a few days ago. All right, so this is a pretty good hand against fair. I'm going to keep this. We're on the play, which is nice. I can surveil and get the green, and then we can go Beanstalk, and then subsequent turn we can Leovold. And if there's an emergency, we have Brainstorm in the mix. Okay, so this is actually, I think, a reasonably favorable matchup because they had a really strong hand. Any DRC into Mishra's Bobblehand is insane because it just helps them get so much closer. I say this is a good matchup because we have Endurance in our deck, and that's a really strong card against Delver. All right, best draw in our deck would be like a Witherbloom command here. I am going to try to find one. Fatal Push is fine too. I'll take a Fatal Push. I'm not going to go up the Beanstalk with the DRC hanging out there. I'm going to try to get rid of her. That is a heck of a card to put in your graveyard. That's another reason why I think we're favored against Delver. They get a card. Okay, so Force. I think what we do is we go ahead and go for the Beanstalk here. We preserve our black. There's no reason to subject it to risk. We can shuffle later with a Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm going to do the highest value thing and just go with the Beanstalk here and hope that they don't have a Daze. If they do, it's an insane hand for sure. I will force to protect it, I think. They get a look. Do we force to protect it? I mean, it's like, yeah, I think if we're going to force to protect anything, it should be our Beanstalk, just because we have to hope that the game goes long. I know the game could be compacted quite a bit. Leovold is probably actually the pitch, just because he doesn't do enough. He's a ground creature. We're in. Draw trigger. So our plan is very simple. Get Earl on the table. Don't get wasted. Don't get the, my wife always jokes playing Grand Theft Auto, like, wasted. Like whenever I like slip and fall on the on something, like my kids left out a toy and I almost slipped, my wife's like, wasted. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, that sucks. That's a green card we don't have. We're taking 3. All right, but we do have Beanstalk in. That's not nothing. They have another bobble, just filling that yard up. My goodness. This is their turn 2. I want to remind you, this is their turn 2, and they have 6 cards in their graveyard. Okay. They get another card, so they're back up to 6 cards. They have really not used any resources. They 2-for-1 us already. Okay, we're getting a lot of land. That's good. I'm kind of tempted to brainstorm here. If we find Fatal Push, it's so good. They don't have Days Up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to brainstorm and try to find a Fatal Push. I really need to get rid of this. Oh no, Thoughtseize is terrible. Okay, we're going to put back Thoughtseize. I don't think a second Beanstalk is what the doctor ordered here because we're under attack. We're never going to waste them. I'm going to put this back. Okay, now we're going to go get a green source. We'll get a Trop. We do have a lot of Trops for precisely this type of situation. Like I wanted to have 5 green source. They'd have to waste our green source 3 times. And believe me, they are coming to waste our green source. They're going to waste that like none other. Because if Uro gets out, that's basically GG. Endurance is so insane, but like, what are the chances that we don't get wasted again, or that it gets dazed? Witherbloom Command is good too because you can regrow a land. This is tough. This is really tough. Like, Rakshasa's Bargain is not good right now. Again, everything comes down to like just every turn that we're doing something is them hitting us in the face. Endurance is kind of an answer. They did already use their days, but like, they could easily have another days and they could easily have another wasteland. I think we want cheap interaction and we want more lands. Okay, Force is fine. It's not great, but I will happily pitch a Ponder here to stop like a Delver, I guess, or another DRC would be the Nightmare. And I do get a draw trigger off of that. Yeah, if you DRC a second time, I'm going to definitely force that. I will force this. It's additional pressure. And like the name of the game is relieving pressure. It seems crazy to force a Delver, but like that's where we are. Okay. So assuming they don't waste us, we can get there. I'm going to go ahead and play out the Bayou. And I guess we're going to go up the Beanstalk here. The best draw in our deck is Fatal Push by a country mile. Or Murder's Cut. 6 outs. Come on. Murktide. I think this is a Murk. I don't want to Murk here, but I do think it's correct to Murk. Just because it puts a blocker in front of that. Yeah. And then we have this Bayou in our back pocket. And I am going to go deep. I'm not going to get dazed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 7/7. So it's just big enough to dodge. What's that card called? Don't force this, please. Fatal Push. Oh no. If I tapped differently, I could have taken this out. Oh, that's such a punt. I should have tapped the green. That was so dumb. My excellent friends, I apologize. Yeah, and I would take that out just because, like, gosh, yeah, they don't have a lot of instants and sorceries. We're not going to have to worry about them having a giant Merc. It's like the pre-board is more forgiving because, gosh, yeah, that was a punt. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was a total punt. If they can borrow here, then I take an extra 3 damage that I didn't need to take. But like post-board, they're going to have Pyros and stuff, and Murktide gets way worse. They may do a baby Merc just not to have to ram their DRC into our Merc, which I always love to see, by the way. I don't fear their Merc. I fear them just like having a plurality of creatures. We can find an answer to their Merc. There's no reason they would be slow rolling a borrow here. Yeah, they're Mercing. So it'll be a 4/4, I think. And they have to get the cards right so that they take away. Yeah, they're great. This is not a big deal. Okay. So we're not going to be attacking. We're just going to chill and be defensive here. I will clear this just because it's a value engine. Now I'm kind of tempted to Endurance. I think the correct line is to go ahead and Beanstalk and hold up Fatal Push. So that's what I will do. Wait, what if I drew another Merc? So a single instant and they can get this Delirious. Thoughtseize is not good. I could make it Delirious. That does not seem like a good plan. I'm going to chill. I'm going to hope that they have like some combination of like bolts and stuff that I can blow out. Should we push it now just to turn off the engine? I think I am. They can attack plus bolt and that'll deal with it. I don't even care about this thing. I just care about keeping their board clear. Okay, this is an instant they can go in the yard. They could potentially get a second Merc and have 2 large Mercs. That is something that could happen. They've already binned several creatures, so they are a threat light deck. They can go after our green source and keep us off Uro here. I may have to Thoughtseize just to get a card in my yard for Uro. Best draw on our deck is going to be a green source for sure if they waste here. I'm going to float green just to confuse them. I don't think it is necessarily going to confuse them. All right, so them cutting us off that is pretty bad. We cannot become the beatdown deck. It would be an absolute mistake to do so. We just have to chill and wait. This feels extremely bad, but I think it is a wasteland here. Or a Thoughtseize. Otherwise, we're doing nothing. I don't think they're going to have 3 bolts. If they are, we can take one of them. But this puts the card in our yard for Uro. If Uro comes back, the game's probably over. They're brainstorming here. They're putting a lot of stuff. They could be putting a Merc on top, and then Merc could come in and be pretty big. Let's see. That would make their Merc a 6/6 currently. And then if they had like another card that they could put in the yard, it could be a 7/7 and contest my Merc. I do have the ability to Endurance myself if I find a green card later, and then give my Merc a growth spurt. That Thoughtseize felt terrible, but I'll take any creature that they have, like a Delver or anything. I'll take a Daze, I guess. Yeah, they have 3 lands. That's good that they don't have a lot of good cards. Yeah, that felt terrible, but I do think it was correct. Now, at least if we find a green source, we do have the ability to bring it back. They didn't have, they had another brainstorm. So they're filling their yard very quickly toward a giant Merc, and Merc will have to chump a giant Merc. Okay, this is good for us. I was afraid of a Merc. We don't know what's in their hand. We can presume some of those lands are getting shuffled away. I'll just presume that we have know nothing about their hand because they're probably going to end-step it. Okay, green source. I'm going to go and do this now. All right, and if you hear my son playing piano in the background, he loves to do this. Okay, double draw trigger. They can Daze, they can Force. They have had a lot of selection. There is entirely possible that they do find like enough bolts to burn us out. Okay, they're Force Negationing here. They were 1 shy of pitch casting it. Fatal Push. Okay. Land, please. Land! All right, I'm going to play it out. I know that they can waste, but they have plenty of other things they can waste here. We're just going to chill. The card they pitched there was a Force. They're playing Surveillance. Okay. Scary things that they could cast. Obviously. Okay. All right. I'm going to play this out. Now we have Daze protected, and I think we win because we're going to make our Merc huge here. If they can counter this, they should. Okay, yeah. Wow, that was tight. These games have been great. This is like one of the best leagues. I know we didn't have perfect performance. Like we lost a couple earlier, but these last 2 games have been insane. Okay, so against them, Carpet definitely comes in. That's what it's for. I think now Spellbomb's worth it. It's not that big of an investment to keep their graveyard clear. Hydroblast definitely come in, and I do think Bowmasters comes in. You can bring in Shieldred's Edict here. It gets Dazed a lot. I think it's okay. Bowmasters is probably just like a one-of. Okay, so the cards that come out, Daze, our entire like Disruption Suite basically comes out. You can take out Force in this matchup. I don't like to just because sometimes it saves my butt. Witherbloom is okay. You can gain life. You can get back land. I don't think it comes out. I think we take out like at least 1 Wasteland. Let's take a look at my guide that I made. You know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? That's how this works. So -2. Oh, yeah, I take a Tamio. I think she's not great here because they have like Pyroblast, they've got bolts, they've got so many things. And also she can't really attack in if they have any creatures up at all. They can just hold back a Flip Delver and your Tamio engine's off. And I take out a Leovold because he's a ground creature. Yeah. And then we've still got the Endurances. We've got the Witherblooms to potentially gain life and kill pre-flip Delvers to get back lands. All right, let's run it. I usually take out a Bargain, but I think a Wasteland is fine. So mulligan. Don't look at it. Don't look at those juicy cards. This is another mulligan. Not like this deck. This is a keep. Put back a Wasteland. Ah, man, like... I don't want to put back fetch. We have a Ponder, which can... I mean, if they don't have a waste, Ponder's good. Hydroblast is a sideboard card. Gosh, we're on the draw too. I think we have to hope. We have to hope. I'm going to... I mean, this can... Yeah, we have to hope. I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill. I'm not going to keep the Ponder. I'm going to keep the lands because the lands do... Like, I'm probably going to be pondering for land. So why not just keep the land and don't risk them, you know, having Pyroblast from a Ponder or something? I'm just going to take it slow and steady. They played a freaking land and passed. That is a huge gift. That's not a great card. We'll definitely surveil here just to try to find, you know, more action. Brainstorm can put this Force of Will back. We don't want to be casting it. It's like an emergency thing. I would love for them to just start bolting us or something. Yeah, that's fine. End step Brainstorm after fetching. That's aggressive. I think that what they're doing is they're seeing like, oh, he mulled twice. I have a window here to just be balls to the wall. And to some extent, they're probably right. There's the waste. We cannot play around this forever, but I am going to play around it for a turn. This way, I can at least go get an island and have like days protection. I do think that this is a island into Ponder situation here. We're doing nothing. They Pyroblasted. It's okay. Alternatively, yeah, I'm just going to chill. Chill and make land drops and get further ahead. They may have Price of Progress in their deck, which would be terrifying. That is a Hydroblast. I'll go grab my island now. I will force to stop this probably because this just represents so much. Okay, do they have a response? They can only daze once, so I feel confident with forcing this. If there's ever a card to force, it's Seek the Beast for sure. Okay, they force pitching a Brazen Borrower. Now I will force pitching my Ponder. And we're nearly hellbent here. But unless they force again, that worked out all right. Yeah. I mean, that's why you keep the force in. Because like they would have gotten like 2 cards. And yeah, maybe they would have been like days or something. But they could have been ridiculous stuff. This is fine. If they ever activate it, I can just push it. I don't care that much about my graveyard getting taken from me. It's not the most pressing concern. This being a DRC would have been much worse in my humble opinion. Because they have a Wasteland out, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of getting 2 cards for one activation. I'm just going to chill here with my Brainstorm up. Knowing full well that it could be Pyroblasted here when I cast it eventually. But I'm not in a hurry. And the more cards I put in there... All right, see, they're not doing anything. They're going to just clear my graveyard. Okay, let's see if we can draw a land. Endurance is good. I can't in good conscience cast it right now. I'm just going to chill for another turn cycle. Because next turn, like I Brainstorm my final land, and then Endurance comes down, and Endurance starts shaking things up. It's fine. We have a lot of things that can kill this. This is the Merc. Yep, it's just coming in as a 3. How much power does it have? It's 5/5. Okay, I could have like tried to find something to stop it, but I am going to... Now I do have to take the initiative and Brainstorm here. Beanstalk is good. Okay, I think now Fatal Push goes back. I just don't think it's good enough. Endurance can keep me alive for a turn, and it is just a good sideboard card against them. I think we have to put the Ponder away. We could go ahead and Surveil now, just to increase the likelihood of filling up our yard and getting like a Merc of our own. If we Surveil now, they definitely waste. But we get a bad land out of our deck. I think it's worth it. What am I looking for here? Looking for Murderous Cut or Shieldred's Edict. If they eat our graveyard now, that reduces the utility in finding a Shieldred's Edict. Hedge Maze. I don't think we're going to win this game. I hate to do this, but I think we're under enough pressure. Let's see. We play this for the turn. I think we're under enough pressure that we need to do that. They should have absolutely wasted us by now. Okay, that's fine. We got 4 cards in the yard. We could present a Merc. They should probably go ahead and license us right now. Also, they could have attacked us with this. We can still cut if we find it. All right, let's take a deep breath. Let's go ahead and Beanstalk here. Trying to draw in a cut. Cut will die to Daze. I think we get drop here. Then if we find cut, we can go get... Please cut. Okay, force doesn't do it. We have to just chill for a turn. Take 5. They're going to clear our graveyard. This is going to make cut harder to cast. It's possible that I screwed up by like not being more aggressive about trying to endurance them earlier. But like I have to respect it. I don't have to respect Daze, but I choose to respect Daze when they got a slow open like this. Please don't freaking think about the hearse. Just leave it. Just leave it. They can practically alpha strike us. They just play a single creature and hearse alpha strikes us here. Okay, that's fine. We could still have the mana to cut if we find it. We get nothing. So I think we play this out and then we have to endurance when they go for our stuff next turn. So we'll let them hit us. This is getting out of hand. We need to Witherbloom this really quickly. But I can at least keep it from growing even further by endurancing. Okay. They are opting to crew here, which is terrifying. Is this lethal? 7? I think I have to trust that, like, if they have double bolt, we're just dead. You know what? I'm not going to live in that world. I'm not going to live in the world where we're just dead to double bolt. I'm gonna fight back here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit their yard, and then I'm gonna chump. Because I think the reason they do this is because they have double bolt. So now this does grow the Merc if I hit their yard, but I probably still do it. Maybe I don't. I'm worried about them ripping a DRC. If the DRC or Delver won't be able to crew this without the Murktide's help by itself. But if it's Delirious, then it does. So I think giving them extra power is fine. I am going to go after their yard. And now I'm going to chump. And we're just going to see if we get one more chance to find the fatal push, or the murderous cut, rather. It sucks to have to do that, but I do think it's correct. Okay, they're pondering, so now they're getting another type in their yard. There are no easy wins with Beanstalk. Every single game is you are basically the control deck. Like, I guess there are in the sense that, okay, yeah, that sucks too. Okay. If they have a Daze, then, like, if they don't have Daze, no, we can't bring Arrow back. Yeah, I'm going to keep this untapped just in case I find a... Let's ponder. Edict does it. Bargain is insane. Follow up to Edict. We have to hope. We have to hope. Oh, we have to shuffle this away. Damn. But we have to get rid of the thing. And now we get rid of it and they can't do anything about it other than force. Yeah. We're taking the shot we have. I'm going to grab this Bayou just in case I find another endurance. They still have 4 cards in hand. They did use a force earlier. Wow, it worked. Okay, we're still alive. Barely. We had to fetch away. I should have freaking... what did I ponder? I should have freaking shuffled before I pondered. That was such a dumb punt. Yeah, that was a dumb punt. Okay, I'm going to get better at this game. I promise. I'm going to keep practicing to be excellent. All right, they brainstorm here. Yeah, because if I had bargain, like, we would be back in the driver's seat. Like, they might pyro it, but we'd at least get a card for it. But now we're just drawing a random card. And they could still just, you know, Merc. And a Merc, even a tiny Merc, is going to power this up quite a bit. I'm glad I have Witherbloom on my deck. That will be really good. Return a land, blow up their hearse, fill my yard. They're getting close. Is this DRC? Oh, it's Delver. Okay, that's scary, but it's not fatal. Bubble. They can use the bubble trick to flip. Okay, they're going after my stuff immediately. Yeah, I don't have Mystic Sanctuary in my deck, so it's not like I'm going to do anything with that stuff, but it would power out a bigger Merc. So I can see why they're doing what they're doing. I think they made a mistake there. I can preserve information, but if I find a brainstorm, I do want to shuffle this force away. Come on, give me something good. If this flips, then we're dead. Let's go for it. I want Well, I made the mistake of pondering earlier, but yeah, if I find Witherbloom, it's so insane. Witherbloom would be insane here, but it's not going to resolve. There's no way that they would let me resolve that. Let's do it. I need to be decisive. I'm not going to fetch, just in case I'm going to brainstorm. Merc, not good enough. Yeah, we got to shuffle this. Okay, we could high roll, Beanstalk, fetch. I'm just going to shuffle and see what I find. Spellbomb. Spellbomb does clear the path for a turn cycle. I can cast it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't think this matters. I think we're dead. But there is a small chance that we find black and we can fatal push this. Or murders cut it and that they don't have a daze. Do you have a daze? If you have a daze, we can go to the next game. But I just drew like super nutty card. Super duper nutty. Is what I was looking for. Where have you been all my life? Murders cut. 1, 2, 3. This is a long game. But, you know, the clocks are comparable. They have a daze here, which I can't imagine them not having it. They've been on the play. The old turn 4 days to like win the game. Turn 12 days? I don't know. Can't do anything. Let's see what we draw. I think we're just dead to Delver Flip and then crewing. We do have a force effect. We have a Merc, but there's no chance that we survive this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have exactly enough if they can flip this. If they don't flip this for some reason. Okay, good game. I'll make sure they see the victory. We fought hard. This matchup is scrap. You don't get any free wins in Legacy. Unless you're Oopsal spells and you're playing against, green decks and stuff. Okay, so sideboard. I still think we keep the sideboard exactly as it is. I don't think any changes. I mean, Orcish Spellmasters is the only card that I could argue could come in. And, maybe on the play, it's actually fine. Maybe we could aggro them. What would we take out? Shield's Edict was pretty clutch there. I do think we take out a bargain. It's just because it is a lot of mana and it will get pyroed. We could take out a Murktide. It is graveyard dependent. Do like that. Maybe we do bring in the Wasteland. Just maybe we could cheese them. I mean, there's no problem with having more mana sources in our deck. Yeah, I think maybe we take that out. Gosh, this is so hard. If we take out the Spellbomb, like one Spellbomb's fine. I don't really want to have to pay mana to draw through them. They don't help any other thing going on in our deck. All right. 8 minutes to win. This is not a keep. We need more mana. Carpet, please. This is a keep. This is not a great keep, but it is a keep. I'm going to put Endurance back, even though it's a sideboard card. It's just going to be hard to cast. I'm probably going to have to get a basic island here so we can ponder and try to find more land. I will waste one of their lands just to buy time if they don't come out strong. If they come out with DRC, I will blast it and I will also force it. Don't play a Delver. That's the one I can't interact with. This is fine. I'm going to waste them. Then they'll never have green for the rest of the game and they'll never be able to cast that card. The backside of Questing Druid. Okay, bubble. I think it is worth surveilling here to try to find a land. I don't want to play on basics if I can avoid it. I'm aware that does make it susceptible to multiple wastes. But I'm going to have to trust that the Surveil plus the Ponder is going to get me there. We have 21 lands in our deck. We also have a Carpet of Flowers. That goes in the yard. It's just too far off. It pains me to put that in the yard. I think we do need to find a land here. We waste this. We don't have to worry about days. Now let's go find the other lands. If we shuffle, they'll know. Okay, we don't have to shuffle, but we are in a precarious situation. They take us out blue. We don't have any counterplay. We have to wait around, but I'm not going to shuffle this known land. They could struggle to get on board. We are on board, and they're not, so wasting may not be correct. Like, generally, you want to have a threat before you start wasting. Okay, thank goodness. We can ponder again. The piano is stopped, and it's like dead quiet in my house, and I'm just like totally zoned in, like, damn, I gotta perform here. I don't think this is a force. I mean, it's tempting, but like every time I force Delver, when I think maybe their mana's screwed, they always have like tons of lands. They have filled up their yard. We have the option of going for Beanstalk, but that does get blown out. But it also has the side effect of us drawing deeper into our deck. Potentially, if they do daze a Ponder, it's really bad. I could Beanstalk that draws. We force. We fight over it. I think I'm going to go for the Beanstalk now. That's my instinct. Press for our advantage. If we hit to force here, it sucks. We're in. Okay. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about the game. But we can still get wasted out of the game. But I was thinking like, okay, they could have Pyroblast, so I want to not have to force something while they have Pyroblast up. So I'm hoping they go for like a Merc or something where at least if I get dazed, it's not a Pyroblast. Brainstorm. They could be looking for land here. They did play a land last turn. I'm not going to assume they're... I'm going to try to stop cards that are important. I'm not going to try to tempo my opponent. I'm the one who's on their back foot right here, for all I know. Always play like your back is to the wall. Like there's zero benefit to being cocky. There is so much benefit to being paranoid. 6 minutes on the clock. Bowmasters. I can ponder. I need to find a land. I'm going to ponder. I will happily force a Pyroblast here. Fetching. Okay, this is what I said I would do. I'm going to force pitching one of my 2 Hydroblasts. Draw trigger. Shield's Edict. Not terrible, but not really what we're looking for here. Ponder goes off. Let's see if we can find a land. Starting to feel a little bit better. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we just keep both these cards. They're both insane. Beanstalk is probably more important, but Witherbloom is something we can cast if they do waste us next turn. I don't want to have to go fetch a Hydroblast, but I will. I'm not going to play out this Bowmaster. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait till I have a target. If they play out a creature, then I can ping it next turn. They do have Delirium though. Wait, instant artifact. Yeah, they have Delirium. I have Merc covered. Here's the Merc. If they have Force, I can't stop it, but I believe they would have forced by now one of my things. Okay. 6/6. I am going to try to get rid of this turn. I don't want to take 6 damage. Edict. They force. They brainstorm in response. That is okay. Gosh, this is so intense. This entire league has been insane league. They would need double days here or a force. Okay, wow, such a relief. And I've got Beanstalk on top. I don't want to do a damn thing. I want to chill. Yeah, I think waiting a turn on Beanstalk is worth it. Just want to pull further ahead. Once we get 2 Beanstalks out, like the game becomes pretty good for us. I may have to Witherbloom here if they waste me. Then we're susceptible to days. We could still get wasted out of this game. Hearth is dead to Witherbloom. But now I'm kind of thinking we want an extra land because if we get dazed on Witherbloom, it's devastating. I need to go get a Ponder or I got to get out from under this thing. Beanstalk is a great card, but it's just not what we need right now. Sadly. Witherbloom can't be Pyroblasted, but it can be dazed. Come on, find us a land. Or a carpet. One of those two, please. So I think Witherbloom is so important that we can't risk. We cannot risk whiffing. I'm going to go ahead and ponder here. I need to get a land. Let's find a land. Shuffle. Easy shuffle. The land is all that we care about. We found it. Okay, so I think we chill for a turn cycle. We hope they don't have a wasteland. Worst case scenario, we can jam in with a Bowmasters. We've got Hydro up. Then once we Witherbloom, they're going to have a lot of stuff under this, but it's okay. We'll be all right. If they have one of their many Delvers, we can potentially... Yeah, that's fine. Witherbloom is going to get back a land. I'm not going to Bowmaster that. Again, I want to target. Our clocks are practically even. We're both super low on time. This has been a thinking person's match for sure. The previous match was insane, and this one has been no slouch either. All right. I want to bait a daze or some sort of interaction. I think they may respond to this. I think it's okay. I'm going to go for it. Because Witherbloom is what I really want to resolve. Neither of these spells can be blasted. Don't have Stifle. That would be such a backbreaking card. Seek the Beast. I can't stop this. Yeah, let's see what they flip. They can't cast the actual thing because I wasted their land, right? It's just a... Okay, so In Exile is a wasteland. Okay, yeah. So we're going to have to Witherbloom now. 3 cards in hand. I'm going to get a Underground Sea, I guess. Yeah, that way they can't waste me off any of these colors completely. Black. All right, Bowmaster comes in. You want to force this. You want to daze this. All right, well, that's good. That could mean that they just see that it's not that important and they want to stop something else. Okay, Fatal Push is a great rip. So we're going to go green. We'll go black-green with a bloom. I'm going to mill myself and I'm going to destroy that thing. Cast. Boom. Boom. We now Hydroblast up. I really need that land back. So I think we just get the Delta here. We got plenty more lands to fetch. We got plenty of life. We play that out and we attack. And I think we're doing pretty well here. We've got Hydroblast with Daze Protection. They're going to waste us. They're going to cast a Delver, which we can push. 3 minutes on the clock for me. Just under 5 for them. They don't have any more fetchables, except maybe a basic island. There's the Wasteland. Float a blue here. Oh wait, they're wasting the run. Oh no. Can I undo? No, I can't. That was dumb. That was very dumb. Now they can just pass. Okay. Yeah, I'm dumb. Just responding to time pressure. 4 cards in hand. I am going to attempt to protect this just in case it is useful. Like, I'm going to get a trop. There's a decent chance that they interact with this, but it could be stopping them from doing stuff. Okay, that's good. Now they play their Delver. Next turn, we just push Delver out of the way. Keep cut up for the bigger guys, the Mercs. Are you going to Merc now? Double Delver. Okay, I'm going to kill both of them. No Delver shall live. I would love to get another Witherbloom. My goodness, that would be so good. Oh yeah, please crack that. That would be a huge mistake if you crack that. I'm going to ping your Delver. Okay. They have 1 card in hand. I think we can do this. Endurance. We just endurance them. I want to kill their creatures. I'm going to go black. I'm going to cut it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll keep our Merc targets in. Draw trigger. If we get a land, I can endurance. Oh, a Merc. That's pretty good. I don't want that to get killed. I'm just going to wait for a turn cycle. And now we have a giant Merc to rival their Merc, if they have a Merc. But they'll be the same size. So this could come down to the clock is what I'm saying. I don't think it's correct to Merc there. If Daze is their last card, Pyro is their last card. I mean, Pyro might come. Okay, that's fine. So they did clear that finally. Now they're going to get a Bobble trigger here. If we can get an Endurance before they can Merc, we can win. I feel very confident about that. If we can cast Endurance next turn and they don't have a Daze for it, Merc will draw trigger even if they blast it. I'm just going to F6 through the turn. There's nothing I can do. 3 minutes on their clock. Our clocks are practically even. They're getting to see what our top card is. Don't have a Daze, please. We get our card. Okay, Fatal Push. I think it's safer to go ahead and Merc just because it does draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full-size Merc. If you have the blast, you have the blast. But I will draw my card. Force. That's potentially a good card. Let's go ahead and hit. They can still Merc. We can Endurance ourselves to make our Merc huge. Don't want to do that, but that is an option. I got some Double Dragon boss music in my head. This is crazy. I'm going to F6 this turn. Just clock is important. Nothing to be done. They have a lot of looks at Pyros. Pyro is a 2-for-1 though. This is the Merc. That's the Pyro. Don't have a Merc as well. Oh my goodness, if they had the Merc as well, that would be so devastating. Land. Okay, that's good. Okay, I think we just go ahead and Endurance them. And we force, if they interact, they have 1 card, and I think we'll win. Because they won't be able to Merc. So I'm just concerned about clock now. Green, Endurance. That is the game, I believe. Now we can beat them down with the material we have on the table. They clearly don't have stack interaction or they would have used it. They're dead in 2 swings. Okay, they don't have anything. Okay, so we can just start attacking. Yeah, we won with a pretty good margin, but it was still extremely touch and go. It doesn't matter. It buys them a little time. I'm not even going to bother playing that. I don't have clock. Just going to chill and keep hitting them. I will force whatever they do. They may have Pyro to stop it, but I will get a card draw. They aren't going to be able to Merc me here because they don't have enough cards. Well, actually, they could Merc. It'd be a baby Merc. I think I just stop this. I know it may seem weird, but anything that they're doing, I mean, that could be actually really wrong, but we get a good draw trigger for it. I just don't want them like to chain cantrips and fill up their graveyard. Yeah, that's fine. So they did have a pyro, but no, they don't anymore. Okay, we draw a land. That's not great. Just have to swing 3 more times before our clock runs out. And if they find like an unholy heat or something, they are not delirious. They have less time on their clock than we do. They pondered and they got 1 card. Price of Progress kills us both. There's the Merc. Unfortunately, it's big enough that we can't attack in. We can win the race if they attack us. I'm just going to F6 through the turn. They have to. Okay. Now we attack them. We can't actually win the race, can we? Wow. We could lose this. Fatal Push. Another incompatible removal spell. I am going to swing. We could have played on a land there. I don't think it matters. If they have a bolt, we're dead. Wow. I didn't think we would lose that. That was hubris. Okay. Bowmasters. Lots of things we could draw here to just end it. If they're paying attention here. We have to chump. Crazy. We find our own Merc, we can still survive. Good game. Wow. I just have to click attack with 7 seconds on the clock. Yeah, I could do things like Fatal Push and stuff, but they've already F6'd. Yep, they won. They came down to 0-0. That was an incredible game. I don't know that I made any mistakes there at the end. Forcing that Ponder did turn on their Pyroblast, but they would have, I would have had to counter something anyway. We drew really bad after we did that. Gosh, that was a heartbreaker. I was even like, yeah, that's the game. Like I felt like I had the game. I didn't realize they had accumulated enough cards in the graveyard that a Merc could come in. But there wasn't anything I could do. None of the cards I drew mattered. They were all just lands. It could be that I overboarded in terms of keeping the Wasteland in because I was 21 lands. Wait, was I? I was 20 lands plus the carpet. Anyway, I'm going to have to decompress and rewatch that one myself. Yeah, that was pretty rough, like losing that way because I feel like we were favored, very favored. And there was a turn where I think I put away a Beanstalk. I'm just going to tell you the heuristics for going against Delver. You protect your life total at all costs. That's generally how I play. Like, I don't think about like every single decision in great detail. I think, okay, is this going to preserve my life total? Because you're always at risk of them like bolting you out or having some late game Merc that can like close the game before you can find an answer. Yeah. Yeah, it's a heartbreaker. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say. The deck felt amazing. That match against Cradle Control was just incredible. That I feel very proud of that one. I do feel like we have a positive Delver matchup. We got bad variants and I may have made some loose plays there. Leave comments with timestamps as always if you see me make a questionable play. But my goal is just to get better at the game. I just want to play a whole lot and get better at the game. And I want you to get better by watching me get better. And there will be situations where maybe you learn some anti-pattern from me. Like maybe a more experienced pilot would be like, oh, you should never do that. That makes sense. And if experienced pilots are watching, leave a comment with a timestamp on any of those plays that you think that I could have done better. Like I am not going to shoot the messenger. I'm not going to get all defensive. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, interesting. Like that you would have done that. That's helpful for me. That is some feedback. And certainly when you read other people's comments below and they're saying things, like definitely take what they're saying with a grain of salt, just like, okay, this is some person on the internet. A lot of times people will say like, well, of course, you lost because X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, did we have that information at the time? So you need to think about those things too. But in general, having like, there's a saying in open source software, with enough eyeballs, all bugs are shallow. And that's how I feel. Like you can solve any bugs if you have enough people looking at the software and figuring it out. It's just like a wisdom of the crowds thing. And of course, there's madness of the crowds too. I'm not saying that crowds are uniformly a positive thing, but like just having a lot of people look at it does impart additional insight and potentially improve. So that is my goal. I'll leave with that. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.